There's a flood coming. And you keep your head above that water any way you can. And you get south of that border and you cling to the highest branch you can find and you survive. Her people, God won't judge you. Don't think of them as human beings. Think of them as Americans.
So, were you prepared when you opened up this episode for the Canadian internment camps?
I was not. I can't believe the U.S. would ever have camps for people just because they're not from here.
It is truly. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine America threatening to take over Canada? You know, one of our oldest neighbors, and make it like the 51st state? That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be insane. They would never do that in a million years. I don't even see them doing it in 10 years. I don't see it. No.
Thankfully, Fallout's very fictitious, you know. But I was as a Fallout lore enjoyer, the entire opening segment with the escape from the Uranium City Canadian internment camp by Steph Harper and his mom was crazy. And the line that Steph's mom says to Steph of "Don't think of them as humans, think of them as Americans" was pretty great. I love it. I need more of that. When I saw this episode, I was like, we need to follow Canada like immediately.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
I'd love to see all of that.
Just to see, or at least just an international version of the Fallout story.
Yes. You know, and I will say, I as you've seen from the intro, you know, we're all for our Canadian neighbors up top. But I will admit, it was difficult to make that intro because Canadians, by their nature, are not intimidating. Don't take that as a slight. Don't take that as a slight. But you do not have the raw daily venom and anger and rage and maliciousness that the average American carries in their hearts, and it makes it difficult to make a hard style video of Canadian forces. But you know, it's I made it as a labor of love for you all my listeners up north.
Yes, and even you, Drake.
even you, Drake. Well, you know, what up, everybody? This is our review of Fallout Episode 7, The Handoff. And this is another episode of the Noob versus Veteran series. We have Supa O. He is the newbie to the Fallout franchise.
What's up, everyone? How's it going?
And myself, BaitZaDust. I am the Fallout veteran. As a not as, even though I'm gonna say this episode's good, I'm not a tourist, folks. I've played these games for a long time.
Yes,
My opinion may be different than you, but you know, and I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna post that bit from Dead Money where you know the ghoul says, "Oh, it's tourist season." I don't know about you guys, but you're really lowering the bar. I know. I've seen the memes. It's okay. That being said, I would say
I
this
even
is
reposted some of them.
yeah. You know, really be your own. Really be your own. So I will say I really like this episode. Right, just I'm gonna get that out of the way. Before we do our full review, it was incredible. I feel like every time I get on here and I complain and I say, well, I don't like this or that, or I say, you know, well, I don't like where this is going, they immediately follow it up with like a banger. And I go, wow, you are cooking. I will say maybe my real issue, or the real issue that Fallout the show has, is the in between episodes. The in between and setup episodes are kind of wonky, but
Yeah,
when it comes to delivering on this setup, they're very good at it. I was very satisfied by all of the lore bits, all of the, the way the story's progressing, how it's like, incorporating all these elements, some really great fights, some really great moments, and I'm excited for the finale. But what about you, Supo? What did you think of this latest episode of Fallout?
yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good, cool seeing more of Lucy and kind of like debating, I mean, debating, but kind of combating like Hank's ideology of everyone gotta be a hive mind for true peace and equality on in the wasteland. It's cool. It's kind of cool to see that she's still like even despite seeing everything, she's still like, yeah, no, this we still can't do this, you know.
Mhm.
Uh, and I really liked Maximus and Ghoul's story as well. Uh, they were Maximus getting that suit upgrade, and then squaring off against like the originally the one Death Claw. uh,
Yeah, but this whole pack of her.
yeah. uh, wasn't expecting that, but actually no, because they did show like an egg before, so that might have been in part a reference to a little bit
Yeah.
more. But yeah, no, I messed with this episode. I messed with this episode. It felt a little weirdly enough to me. It felt a bit. It felt like we were like on the cups of getting like answers.
Mhm.
Uh, so maybe it felt like a little slow to me in that regard. But like I could tell they're probably gearing up for like some big reveals in the next episode. Some
Yeah,
big
and there was
exp-
definitely some moments that did feel like they were like, "We're gonna throw this in just to remind you that this does exist, but we
yeah,
can't really deal with it." Like the Norm plot line didn't
yeah.
really progress, but I was just to say, "Yep, Norm's here. He'll be back in the finale."
Remember him? I remember him.
Yeah. All right, so we can get into it. As we talked from the outset, this episode opens in the great country of Canada, but which has now been annexed and converted into the 51st state. Well, I don't think it's officially called 51st state, but I think some Americans refer to it as the Big 51. And in Fallout lore, Canada was like famously like annexed. That clip I played in the beginning, the intro to Fallout 1, right, where they kind of set up the world. They have like a news report, like an old news report of
Mhm,
Galaxy News Radio, and or not Galaxy News Radio, it's just called Galaxy News, but it's Galaxy News, and you have that scene where they say our boys over in Canada, right, in the annexed Canada, are like keeping up morale,
mhm,
and they're showing on television the two guys in power armor executing a Canadian rebel right on
mhm,
camera, and then they wave to the camera, and it's indication that even in the pre-war times, things were pretty rotten in
mhm,
the Fallout universe.
mhm,
And the reason why Canada did get invaded was because, like, first there's a pipeline that went from Alaska to America, and Canada was like you know part of that territory. And at first they're like, we're here to protect the pipeline, but
mhm,
then it became well, we're staying, and maybe we're taking a little bit extra because we have to fight the Chinese. So, we got to win by any means possible. And then it became well, while we're here, we're gonna take your resources and we're gonna exploit your country. And they have there's a pretense for it where um like there was an attempted pipeline sabotage by Canadian forces that the Americans stopped, and then they used that as an excuse to like step in and take over. And it's hinted it's hinted that maybe that was a false flag operation by the US to give a pretense for the invasion. Um, but then it was just became like a we're here now. And so even when Coop's like in Anchorage, right, in their Alaska and whatnot, I mean that's probably already like annexed territory, Canada, because that they wanted to have that so they could have a buffer against China, during the Sino-American War. So it provides very interesting things. Now we don't see anything from Canada, right? Post-war, really. Like there might be a couple of like little scenes here or there of like, oh, this is a Canadian guy from here, or they'll people. Um, I think they believe they refer to Toronto. His post-apocalyptic name is Toronto, and
Toronto.
Toronto, yes. And all we know is it's bad up there. You know, it's bad up there. Reports of cannibalism, all that stuff, raiders, and whatnot. And there might be a couple of like little Canadian elements, but we don't really know how it was. All you can tell is from that intro, things are bad.
Yeah.
When they're executing people on camera and not even trying to hide it, and they're waving for the camera, things are not good. Not ideal. And funny enough, I don't know about the canonness of it all, but in Fallout 4, right? The main character of Fallout 4 is a what do you call that? The main character of Fallout 4 is a soldier, right? He was a soldier like during the war, and he like canonically like served like in different parts of the military. That's why you know how to use power armor, and you have all this experience. And I think the game opens with your character preparing to make a speech or get an anti-war speech. Um, somebody, somebody who is a designer on Fallout 4 said that Nate, the main character of Fallout 4, was one of the soldiers in the intro to Fallout 1. That
Okay.
one of the soldiers, either the soldier that's doing the executing or the other soldier standing by, was Nate in Fallout 4. So canonically, your character, if you're playing a male character, he's a war criminal.
And this is all like
And
confirmed by like. So wait, this is like behind the scene developer stuff.
yes,
Confirmed?
this is a behind the scene developer comment that they made. They said yes, your character is there. So people have started to call. There's an in joke in the community about this where they call Nate. They call him Nate the Rake because he's clearing out all the maple leaves, and he is on a mass execution campaign, just committing war crimes all over Canada. Which I guess
That's
that
wild.
canonically will we're gearing up for season 3. It's going to be Steph is going to be hunting down Nate. He's going to be hunting down the main character of Fallout 4 for revenge.
That'd be wild if it goes that kind of path. like the one cameo of the protagonist.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, hey, that'd be a cool
It turns
Easter egg.
into like a cross country, like Last of Us Part 2 style adventure of Steph, because Steph trying to get to Boston to kill Nate. She finds out Nate's still alive, and she's like, I gotta take him out.
It's the only way I can move on.
So it opens with like the bit of Uranium City, and you see Steph and presumably her mom running right out of this internment camp. And on the way, as they escape, they get caught by a soldier in, I believe. Let me get it right. Let me make sure I get this right. I believe T-45 power armor. I could be wrong.
Mm.
I could
No,
be
no, say
wrong.
with your chest. I'm taking everything you say as fact. It's T-34 power armor.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's
I believe it's a T-45 power armor, and I think he says like, get back to the camp, hoser, or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
So really insane stuff. But then like a suicide bomber, uh, takes him out. But in the explosion, her mom is injured, like fatally injured, and she gives like Steph this speech that like you gotta, things are gonna get bad, a flood's coming, but you gotta be prepared to escape. You have to live like for us, right? And that
Mhm.
means if you gotta climb whatever branch you have to climb, get to the highest branch possible, so you can like wait out this flood. And like I said, I know I raised you Catholic, right? But you gotta do what you do. God will forgive you, you know, because they're not people, they're Americans. So just go at it. And she
Yes.
does. Okay? Steph does take this to heart, and she immediately goes out and like kills
Yeah,
a guy
yeah, takes
to
out the
take
border
his pork and
patrol guy.
beans. I'd like to believe I mean, I assume that's like an American that's on Canadian territory, considering how he's not in an internment camp and living a
Yeah.
comfortable life. That's probably like an American on Canadian territory. So she kills him, and then she goes to the border, kills the border guard, sneaks in, and assimilates into American culture. Now, I will say, I I'm not sure why Steph. I mean, there's probably like I think maybe for a personal reason, Steph kept her Canadian ID, which is very important for later on in the episode.
Mhm.
But maybe she wanted to keep that because that's like a remnant from her past. But at the
Mhm.
same time, Steph, you should have gotten rid of that ID like a long time ago. You should trash that thing. You know?
Yeah, yeah, if she didn't want it, maybe it was just like a, something just to keep, like a
Yeah,
keepsake
that's
of her own life,
that's what I
so
think. That's what I think. But still. Um. So, and then during this intro, it's like mirrored with her waking up, getting up out of bed. As she knows she still only has one eye, and you got to
Mhm.
see her eye without the eye patch. Think it got a fork stuck in it by a raider in the first episode last
See
season,
them, yeah.
and she is getting up, getting ready to do her part. She's gonna get married that day, but she's ready. Okay, and she will not let any of these American scum from stopping her. I am curious though. Like, what is Steph's end game, right?
Yeah, I was hoping we would get a bit more of that, this episode, especially with that opening, but it's kind of like they're kind of extending the mystery and not explaining it until,
Mm,
like, I assume the execution of it all will
yeah,
be revealed in the next episode.
because she she made it, right? She did the thing. She did make it. She made it through the
Yeah.
apocalypse, right? But that's not like enough. Like, not only she make it, she got into a position where she was able to like be in the vault tech management, get frozen. She made it past like the apocalypse
Mhm.
and got to an overseer position, right? But like, what now? Because I don't think whatever she wants, I don't think her goal is to run it because that's what Vault-Tec wanted,
Yeah.
right? Whatever her next plan is, I think it is a plan to like fully take over.
Yeah.
But then what? Is my theory that I gave a few episodes is coming closer to fruition. Okay, the Canadian Reich will begin.
Mhm.
Episode 8, Steph is gonna radio in to her Canadian comrades across the border. It's like, it's time, and you cannot stop what is coming. That's all I'm saying. Okay, that the Mounties will rise up.
Oh, they're coming.
Yeah, retribution's just around the corner. Um, so after this really riveting intro, we get to, I think we'll start with the Lucy plot line. Um, and we have Lucy who is, kind of getting a little more acclimated to whatever's going on with Hank, you know? She sees the workforce. I mean, he says that he claims that the procedure is irreversible, right?
Mhm.
And, is also trying to explain to him that, like, um, it gives him, like, an amnesia, right? It wipes away their memories and then puts in a new, like, compliant personality.
Mhm.
And that's why they're also amenable and whatnot. I do find it interesting that they still know who they were, but that could be, like, Hank telling them, I assume, like, afterwards. Like, "Oh, well, this is you. This is what you used to
Yeah.
do." You know? Um, and, she wants to shut it down, and he goes and, he does a pretty good bluff, I will say. He is very manipulative, does very good bluff when he's like, "Oh, well, hey, we can go all the way to the mainframe," and you have a great scene where he teaches her how to drive.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that originally. Like, oh yeah, I guess she wouldn't they wouldn't have like carts around the boats and whatnot. And not only that, like I don't think I've seen like actual like cars
They
in
don't
the
have cars to
wasteland.
Fallout.
Okay, that's what
Now, that's not I wouldn't call that a lore reason. I would call that a technical limitation reason.
because
Of
fuel would be expired.
No, no,
Oh.
no, because a lot of those cars run off atomic power. It's just all the cars are burnt out husks because, with the exception of, I think, Fallout Tactics, which is like in a semi-canon, like, spin-off kinda game, um, with the exception of that, no Fallout game has driving. That's because it'd be
Mm.
too hard.
We could have coded in.
The games are not designed to be driven around, right? They do
Mhm.
not have the wide open spaces, so they don't have those kind of roads, right? All the cities and towns are pretty packed. It just wouldn't work. The map,
Okay.
it just would not sustain it. And also, it would become a very different game if you could drive, right? If you could just drive around the wasteland, that would, like, impact, so many different encounters, the way it's designed, like raider factions. It'd be something different, you
So
know?
many problems would be solved with that car.
It would, it's kinda like you think about a game of driving, there's like Borderlands, for example, right?
Yeah.
That can sustain driving, but that means there's wide open stretches of the map where you can just kinda, like, drive around and do stuff. But you don't really have that in Fallout. Um the maps are pretty dense. Even, like, the wide open spaces all will have, like, little things where you can, like, stop and look and, like, get items or loot, or they'll tell a little story, and that
Mhm.
all kinda goes away if you can just zoom around it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Huh. I
And,
didn't even
as a result, nobody drives in the show either. They'll fly in those, like, airships,
yeah,
but,
with the ships.
yeah.
But,
But
like, no
that
one's ever
even
driven a
in the game,
Honda.
the ships are more like loading screens, to be honest. Like, you're not flying around in them. Uh, it's too
Uh,
hard, okay? It's too hard.
it's no, that's fair. That's fair. The game came out pretty early, they didn't have the capabilities back then. And
And
then
no one's brave enough to implement it to a modern Fallout game.
yeah. But hey, maybe one of these days, maybe you'll see Fallout Racing on your PlayStation 5.
A
You know?
Fallout kart racing game?
Yeah, right. You can play as a Deathclaw, as a Vault
Oh, yeah,
Hunter,
yeah,
as
yeah.
a
To
as
be
a ghoul.
honest to be honest, I wouldn't want vehicles, but I wouldn't mind horses.
Horses.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, okay, I mean, they implement those in, like, I guess, the companion series of Elder Scrolls games have horses, right?
Mhm.
Of course, their map's a little bit different than Fallout, but I wouldn't mind horses, like, in a, thing, or mounts of some kind. I think that could be a fun compromise.
Yeah. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. All they gotta do is just break open the world a little bit more. You know what I mean? Get rid of the invisible barriers and bada bing, bada boom.
It's that easy. It's that easy. Um, so and then Hank's like, oh, you could have had a normal life. I wish I could have given you a normal life, right? And Lucy's like, well, we had a normal life, Dad, but you ruined it. But I don't think that's what Hank means. When he says a normal life. I
Oh,
think what Hank means is like a pre-war, like
before all,
normal life. Yeah.
yeah, before the wasteland and before the bombs. Yeah, no, that could be it because he actually was around pre-bombs, and his daughter, his kids, they
Yeah, he
didn't
don't care
grow
about
up.
Norm.
You don't think he has any
It's
care,
bro, it is crazy how much he doesn't care about Norm, bro. It is you would think that Lucy is his only child. The way he doesn't think about Norm like at all. I think he mentions Norm like once. He does not care about
Yeah, he'd be all right. You're walking off, bro. He tough. But Lucy, we could rule the
Yeah.
wasteland together. We could unite everyone. What about Norm? Oh, yeah, but yeah. I mean, I guess he could be there. I guess. uh, but yeah, no, I think no, that's a pretty nice observation. Him just relating to Lucy and because Lucy's life now is definitely not a normal one. Even pre her going into the wasteland, the Vault life, isn't exactly a normal life an average person would have.
No.
Uh,
It's like a copy, right? It's a
yeah.
weird copy, propagandist, copy of what normal life was. So then we have the bit where Lucy's like, okay, well, I can build an explosive, maybe I can destroy the mainframe. And then as she's about to maybe go in, she sees a legionary, uh, who was a legionary beforehand, and he's just mopping the floors. He's all chill now. And she's like, maybe this whole branch of thing ain't so bad when you think about it.
He's like, and then she asked him, "Do you remember anything?"
Oh, so that's the next guy. That's the next guy. As we
Oh, am I thinking of someone else?
yeah. You're thinking of the NCR guy, but yeah. So we can continue down the Lucy plot line.
Mhm.
Where we after this, Lucy decides not to go to mainframe, so she puts on that yellow dress that her dad set aside for her, and she is really thinking about what they're gonna do next. But then at the dinner table, as you brought up, not the Legion guy, but the NCR guy, the ranger who helped save her life, after she was crucified, that older guy is serving the water. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's been reduced to a slave, right? They all are slaves, but he's just kind of reduced to this. And she's trying to talk to him and be like, do you remember,
Mhm.
me, when you saved my life, do you remember what you were like before? And he just has it like, and then
Yeah,
Lucy's like, actually, no, yeah, this is messed up. This is
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. The mind control completely fries their minds. Uh, so even if I don't think there's a way to even probably revert it back.
I think Hank's lying.
You think he's lying on that?
I think he's lying. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he says he amnesia is irreversible, I don't think he's telling the truth.
I don't.
I think he's saying that to be like, oh, there's no way, there's definitely no way you could change this, Lucy. Says, don't even bother.
Okay. No, I was about to be like, why would he lie? But I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, just so protect the mainframe.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still very sketchy technology used on
That is true.
in the wasteland where it's not like we have like tons of resources, scientists, on standby, readily testing, bugs and glitches in these things. So especially for like
That
a
is true. He's not the enclave.
yeah. Yeah, especially for like an earlier version of the machine, I could see it being like a no once you do this, there's no turn back type thing. 'Cause 'cause
And so then you have a bit where Lucy kind of like goes back and forth on this, and we find out that Hank's a centrist, and he's like, well, Legion, NCR. I mean, they're practically the same. Like they all have their own problems, Like, I mean, you might say the NCR is good, but have you thought about paying taxes? Hmm? They have an
Yeah.
expansionist policies. They do this and that. The NCR, I mean, when you really think about it, there are two sides of the same coin, right?
Mhm.
Um, and Lucy in one in one moment deduces what has been uh what some people have been arguing for years, right?
Mhm.
Says that's true, but one side, the Legion, and the slavery
Mhm.
and all these are not the same. These are not the same kind of thing. But you cannot equate them and be
Yes.
like, I mean, both sides are kind of.
I mean, did the NCR make roads?
The Legion didn't make roads.
I don't
I
know,
mean,
bro.
you
They
could
look,
say
they look road. They look.
you could say the roads are, I guess, what better protected under the Legion. But yeah, it's one of those like crazy things for people to do. Where they're like, oh well, you idiot may think that Legion is bad, but have you considered you have to pay taxes? It's just like you have to pay taxes with Caesar. They just call it tribute, dog.
No, that's
It's the
completely different.
same
That's
thing.
completely different. Nah, see, tribute just sounds a lot less worse.
Yeah, they sound well worse. And like I'll say this, right? The NCR does have problems, right? They have their problems of like, of like the pre-war American government, right?
Mhm.
Um they can be inefficient in their way they run sometimes. They are expansionist, right? They try to spread out, and sometimes they can run into problems where they will not aggressively like take over a tribe or like erase people's like identities, but
Mhm.
they might come in and be like, oh, we're the NCR, we're gonna be here now, right? And people are like, whoa, hey, that was my territory, right?
Mhm.
Whereas in, on the other hand, the Legion will come in and say, "We're taking over this tribe. You belong to the Legion now. We're also enslaving all your women. Deal with it." And that's that's
Different.
practically the same thing when you think about it.
When you
I
think about it and
mean,
put aside the logic of it, it really is like 1 and 2.
and some people will point. There's an event in the game called like the Bitter Springs Massacre, where it was like a tribal like territory,
Mhm.
and due to communication, do different things were wrong, and they ended up like wiping out like a large portion. Like, they did a massacre on this tribe of people. It was very brutal, like, bad like event that took place, and
Mhm.
a lot of people died unnecessarily, and as refugees and whatnot. But here's the thing: the Legion, I mean, the NCR feels bad about that. They're not a fan of that. They don't go around and be like, "Yeah, we did the Bitter Springs Massacre." It's like one of the disgraceful things that they feel bad about. The Legion does a Bitter Springs Massacre every day, bro. That's just their MO.
Yeah.
That they just wake up and they do that. Like, huh? Um, and all the Legion guys it's a really it's a real thing of the when people talk about who they support, it's always like, well, I mean, yeah, I support Legion because I'm not going to be the one that's going to be enslaved and crucified. Surely not me. No. I'll be the one doing the enslaving and crucifying. So
Oh, right, right.
it won't affect
No, exactly.
me
Yeah, yeah, of course.
personally.
Mhm,
It's like,
mhm.
no, bro, I'm sorry. You're not Legion material either. You're getting you're going on that cross, bro. Okay, you're gonna go on that cross like everybody else.
You're getting packed.
You're getting packed. You're getting packed. Yeah, and I feel like that's like every evil faction supporter is like always like, well, I mean the Empire. My planet's not going to be one that's going to be crushed under a foot. Assuredly, assuredly, it wouldn't happen to me. That'd be happening to other people.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm
Yes,
sorry, bro.
I know that he's operating the Devil Planet destroying ship, and that destroys every planet that it sees. And my planet's coming up, but it's not gonna destroy my
It's not
planet.
gonna happen to me, loyal Empire supporter. I post about the Empire all the time on the HoloNets. Surely they wouldn't try to enslave my people.
I got Vader
that's
merch.
Always, yeah. That is literally like every one of like the various fictional fascist bootlickers always like, well, I'll be unaffected. I'll be unaffected by this chaos. Hence, I can support them no problem. It's like, have you even bothered to consider? So she handcuffs her dad to the oven and, runs off and is like, I'm going to get to the mainframe to shut it down.
Mhm.
But in order to find out what's in that mainframe, we have to go back a little bit, and we will cut over. So let's cover very quickly to the Norm plot line.
Yep.
Because not much happens.
Yeah, it's a very
we
cut it quickly
with Norm this time. Norm wakes up, and then Ronnie and the other Voltec guys are like, we should kill him.
It's in our handbook.
Yeah, he signed my definitive about it. He's like, I'm pretty sure that in the Voltec handbook it says the first thing, an officer punishable by death.
So we gotta do it. They immediately knock him back out again.
They knock him out. He wakes up, and he relays a message, or he tries to relay a message, to be like, what's gonna happen. I want to know, and like, I don't know. That's a real like. That felt a moment that was designed so they could use it in a trailer. Okay,
Yeah.
that didn't feel like necessary. And maybe that will come into fruition, and maybe that will affect the plot. Maybe. But it really felt like the thing that you do so you could put that in a trailer, which they did. They did put that moment in the trailer. And it really didn't affect anything. But
yeah,
we will see.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that this was all we got on the Norm side of things. I felt like at the beginning of his side quest, we were gonna do a bit more with the managers and and how the managers will react to like the world and whatnot, and also Norm's side quest on finding his sister. I was thinking I was when we get like a bit more of that, but as like kind of like gone on, it feels like we haven't really.
You're right. Not much has happened.
It's just
they really just went out, walked into a building. They've been hanging out in the building the entire time.
Like, bro, Vault 33 is like 3 miles back, bro. Like, are we even that far from it?
You haven't gone anywhere. Speaking of Vault 31, 32, and 33, we can check in with that plot line. And in Vault 32, they're getting ready for getting married. And Chet is like, I don't know about this. I don't like this. I like that being press ganged into marriage. But Steph is like, you have a problem? Is there a problem?
Step up.
And when he is going for the garbage disposal, he finds Woody's glasses. And, he's like, uh-oh.
Not my
it's
boy
not looking
Woody.
too good. Not looking too good for Woody.
Bruh. He's like, if I had one wish, I wish to bring my dog back. It's Woody.
Bro, yeah, Woody's gone. I don't know where Woody is, but he is gone.
Yeah. Well, why do you think
Um,
he destroyed the glasses to put it back in the disposal instead of just keeping them?
um, so that's a good question. I think it was he wanted to play along, right? He wanted to play along just for that bit longer. And I think Chet is an inherently a cowardly character, right? That
Mhm,
goes along with it.
mhm.
And he did have a moment where he's like, I think he did end up standing up for himself later on, but I think at that point he was just kind of like, I might as well go with the flow for a little bit longer.
Okay.
And that's also the direct thing of like, oh, this means that Steph probably killed him. And that's a whole different,
Can of worms.
she leaks an intimidating aura. Steph does.
Yeah, because like yeah, no, I think you're probably right about that. Because at first, before it got to the wedding scene, I'm like, oh, okay, Chet's officially just keeping his head down, buying into
Yeah.
whatever plan Stephanie's is is trying to do. And then, but when the wedding scene comes, and that's when Chet like blast her for it. I'm just like, oh, could have kept the glasses,
Yeah,
just as
bro.
additional like evidence.
Chad is still holding out, okay? He's still holding out for his cousin. All right. He's keeping his
Right?
cousin close at heart.
What they say, keep your friends close, but your cousins closer.
Close, yeah. He's still hoping Lucy's gonna come back through the doors, you know?
Right?
So so we find out how bad the water rations are in Vault 33. Where Betty's like, there's no toilets or showers. It's rough. It's rough out there.
Yeah.
Um, and so Betty's like, okay, I'll give you Hank's keepsake box, right? Betty does not know what's in the box.
And open it.
I'm surprised Betty didn't go through it, to be
Yeah.
honest. Um, but she doesn't, and so she is willing to give it up to Steph, and um, you know, Betty congratulates her on her engagement because Betty does have spies in that vault, to keep eyes on what's going on. And, Steph, and there's the kind of tension of like, you're gonna give me half the water, but Steph's like, all right, and who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen next? And anything can happen next.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said, Betty is past it. She's past all the experience. She just wants to help people out now. But
Mhm.
Steph's on something, Steph
Yeah.
is on something.
Yeah.
Um,
She's
you know,
her master plan hasn't came to fruition yet.
yeah. And it might not. It might not because the wedding happens
Yeah.
and it does not go to plan.
No, it does
It
not.
doesn't. Because, as much as they attempt to bully Chet into marrying Steph, everyone just wants them to go along with it.
You
Chet is like,
got
Chet
cold
has
feet?
like, no, I don't want to. He's like, it's whatever, man. You're gonna get married to her. It's like, I don't want to.
Dude. He's like, "Nah, bro, you got cold feet. Come on, come on." Nah, I know you said no, but it's wedding jitters. It's definitely a yes. Like, no, nah, bro, I don't want this.
And so he has that moment, and he says like, I found Woody's glasses in the garbage disposal. I think something happened to him. And then they immediately all gaslight him and be like, hey, it's not a big deal. It's probably fine. Well, didn't you hear that Woody got transferred over to Vault 31? He's probably just fine.
Yeah, it'd be A-okay.
I
And
okay. And then Chat's like, well, he pulls out the thing. It's like, well, I
Mhm.
found out that Steph is not even like who say she says he is. She's like 200 years old, and people don't know what to think of that,
Yeah,
right? But then he drops a real bomb, and she's Canadian. Everyone's like, she pulls out the thing, and Steph sees what's going on, and she books it. Uh, you know, she books it down the hallway to the overseer office where she locks herself in. and everyone's banging on the door trying to find out what's happening.
Yeah.
Now, this is a scene that's very familiar to many overseers of the Fallout universe of of the experiment going wrong in some way and a bunch of people trying to kill them. This happens more often than you think in
Oh
the
wow.
in the vaults. A lot of times you will find like a completely desiccated vault
Mhm.
in the universe, and you go in and it's like the experiment went wrong or everything went bad or something or another, and before you know it, all the vault dwellers are at the overseer store trying to bust it open, and the vault like or they're all trying to kill each other or they form factions or whatever
Yeah.
is going on. So who knows what the next step is? I think if the thing is FEV, I think Steph might try to either use it on herself or I don't know, maybe put it through the vents or something. She'll probably maybe some way to poison people. She has a
Mhm.
couple tools up her disposal as the overseer. Like she can control a bunch of different things,
Mhm.
but I'm not sure ultimately what she'll do.
Yeah. It might be a case of maybe Betty has to come and help her out because she hasn't done the water thing yet. Uh,
Yeah, maybe.
so maybe it's like a question of
Betty
you know.
Betty might go for a hostile takeover though.
Oh yeah,
I think
just take it
that's the
all over.
move. Because the other thing is like I think even I think what was it this episode or last episode? I think it was this episode where Betty was like everyone was scared of you, right?
Oh yeah,
Before
yeah.
the war, right? So she was acting cold even before the war.
Mhm.
Um, so I think everyone knew something was kind of off about her. But now, if Betty knows that she's also a Canadian, I think she can leverage that.
Yeah, it's a wrap. He's like, well, looks like we have to have both votes followed under the overseers, and I'm
Mhm.
the only overseer left. But
Yeah, you know. So that'll goes down. That's the current like vault situation. I'm happy, and it also appears the Reggie bloodline.
Yeah, they kind of forgot about it. I mean, they didn't really focus on it at all this episode.
But how can you possibly go back to the Reggie bloodline next episode? How
Yeah, in the finale.
in the finale?
Uh,
So
uh,
this does confirm my suspicion that they wasted everyone's time last episode.
nah, it's gonna come back in full circle. I have faith, man. You're gonna
Okay.
you don't see it now, but when all the chips are down and Reggie's incest that group comes out to save the day, you're gonna look real silly.
I'm gonna look real still. Now, here's a question: Do you think they're still going to be in a vault by the end of by season 3?
It's not looking like it, or at least I feel like half of them might leave the votes, especially because there's no water, there's no snacks, whatnot. Like I think Reggie and his incest group will like be like their own faction in the wasteland.
That does sound like a funny faction. You know, that sounds like a very
Like
like
I can see it. It fits
yeah.
the tone of the show.
If it's a tone will Fallout,
Yeah.
But like I think Steph will leave for sure. I
Mhm.
think Steph's gonna make
Yeah.
her escape and she'll like hit the
Yeah, Steph has to
wastes
leave now.
and maybe partner up with like the next biggest faction, right? Because I don't think Steph is part of the enclave,
Mhm.
but I think if there's a chance for her to jump on the enclave train, she will. Because like as her mom said, she'll climb to that tallest branch,
Oh, yeah.
and I think she might try to like partner up with them. I could see that happening for sure.
Okay, okay. Now you didn't mention that, yeah, your mom did, like, drop that, and I could and Steph is like a do anything to get to the top type character. So,
So
hey.
yeah, it'd be the grand irony of like the secret American nationalist, you know, deep state faction gets infiltrated by the ultimate Canadian.
That'd be wild. That'd be wild. But actually, what's actually gonna happen is Steph's actually gonna become the ruler of Legion. You know,
The ultimate legionnaire.
yeah, yeah. They started accepting other races. You know what I mean? We keep the first female Kaiser or Caesar.
She could do it. If anybody could do it, she could do it.
That's the sky's the limit.
Believe it. I believe it. So I would say we can cut over. The plot lines are converging, so I think we're gonna cut over to the main plot line. I would say with the ghoul,
Maximus. Yeah.
Maximus and Thaddeus, who are all rolling down. So they enter like a rundown town that has like the NCR kind of symbols everywhere. And Thaddeus is trying to be like, "Yo, so what's up, my ghoul brother?
Give me some flesh."
Yeah, what's going on,
Not
bro?
too much.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about this whole ghoul thing. How about us ghouls and how I'm just waiting for lose my nose. And as we see and as I suspected and called, Thaddeus is not. He is not a ghoul.
Okay,
He's a secret third thing. He's not even a super mutant. He's something else entirely.
Yeah, I think it's a super ghoul.
I suspect what it might be. But at the same time, it could be something else entirely. Like I don't really know for sure. But so they're all going down here, and the ghoul says we have to go to Lucky 38, and the ghoul surmises that Maximus has cold fusion, and he's like, well, you should give it to me, and Maximus won't give it up because Maximus is like, I have to give this to a good person, right? And the ghoul is like, I'm sorry, but that ain't gonna cut it. Sometimes you gotta give it to the bad guy. Trust me, giving it to the good guy won't work out like you thought it did. And they have to get past the death clause. They do all this stuff, and Maximus finally gives up the cold fusion when the ghoul offers him something a little bit better for his circumstances, and that is the NCR Power armor.
Yeah,
and it's glorious. This is a really cool suit of power armor. This is not has never been in like any Fallout game before. This like brand new design.
It's original.
It is an original. Because power armor is very hard to produce, right? And the NCR, even if all their advancements weren't able to just make power armor, but this appears to be like a modified power armor that they've taken and like added stuff onto it, which I think is a lot of different power armors. Like special power armors in the games will be like modified, T45 or T51s usually. Like in the Fallout 4, you'll have the Raiders to have power armor, and it's not like they made the power armor; they just added their own stuff onto it. But usually, there's like 3 or 4 kinds of like power armor, right? You have the T45s, you have like the T51s that are associated with the Brotherhood or like the War, and then you have the exo suits from the Enclave. And usually everything else is like a variation on one of those. So this is a pretty cool like version of it because it has like the NCR Ranger helmet, like retrofit it to a power armor, which is pretty cool. It has like blades on the gauntlets. It's so cool. It is so cool as a power armor. I want it in a Fallout game that's not Fallout 76. Because I'm sorry, I'm not going to play Fallout 76. I'm good.
No, the bugs are fixed now.
It's not even that. It's just the game. The gameplay isn't what I'm looking for. I don't even think it's a bad game. It's just not what I'm personally looking for in a Fallout game. So they get the NCR power armor, and Maximus gives up the cold fusion, and we get a flashback to Coop, who has somehow made things work with his wife, and they're like, okay, we're gonna give the cold fusion away by the somebody good, somebody can do something with it. And meanwhile, they get Hank back to his room, and who but your wandering eyes do you see? Steph Harper working in Lucky 38, who is
That job.
helping to escort Hank, and they pay him extra. Coop pays her extra to like keep it all hush hush.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Oh, I would love to get a job with Voltec, whatever." And Coop's like, "I don't know. If anything, ask Hank." And I guess she did, and that's how she got into Voltec.
Yeah.
She's a go-getter. She's a
Yeah,
go-getter.
she's hungry for this.
I will say, getting to work in the Lucky 38, even in the past, is a feat in and of itself, because Mr. House is pretty paranoid and litigious.
Mhm.
So, she managed to work there, and now she's gonna work with Voltec. But, so Coop and Barb are like, reach out to that, I think, congresswoman that they were talking to
Yeah.
before. Representative Welch, to be like, I think you could do something good, because he supports her, and even though she's a kind of like a really clumsy politician, he's like, but you tell the truth, and you're a good person and whatnot. And Welch says, well, I can get you in contact with the president. And Coop's like, all right, I think this is a good idea, and we're going to make sure everything works out, because a lot of the problems are the resource wars, right? The dwindling resources are like a major contributor to the war, like lack of oil or uranium or whatever. So having like unlimited free energy would solve the resource crisis. And he really, truly believes he's doing the right thing here. But he does not know he is in fact Boo Boo the Fool, getting ready to play himself in the biggest way possible. So in the present, the Ghoul and Thaddeus and Maximus make their way to 3 side, where they basically are a farm in the streets.
Yeah, pretty much.
They just
Everyone
spent like 2
crowding around
minutes
him.
aura farming as everyone is like, yeah, the NCR is back, let's
He's like,
go.
"You do it, my boy." He's like, you got the
Yeah,
kids looking up at Maximus.
you know. I know the lore purists will say, well, the free side didn't like the NCR in the games. And that is true, right? Free side did have a problem with the NCR, lost squatters, a lot of disagreements. But you have to understand, it has been 15 years, and these people have been through a lot. The strip fell apart. They have dealt the Legion. They had to deal
Dead
with Mr.
Cross.
House, or whatever happened with Mr. House, and things kind of suck. Things kind of suck. You know what? The NCR does not sound too bad when you think about it.
Yeah, when in comparison, to my
You
current situation, if anyone could get me out of it.
Taxes don't sound too bad when when your home gets taken over by death claws.
Hey, yeah, that NCR, but yeah, no, I did like how like as they're walking around, Maximus was kind of like this momentary beacon for the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
And
yeah,
it's
that
kind
moment. I
of
think.
reminiscent.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah. I was
yeah,
gonna say. I think you're about to bring it up, but yeah, that
yeah,
moment, with the little kid looking up at him, kind of reminiscent of when he was looking up at uh a Brotherhood of Steel power
yeah.
armor guy. But
Quintus. Yeah, all those
yeah,
years ago. And also, when he first saw the armor, he was like, you go back to where you started. Yeah, you
yeah.
always kind of go back to where you started. And he originally was from Shady Sands, like he was from an NCR territory.
Hmm.
So he's made this kind of like he's gone back around from the
Full circle.
NCR to Brotherhood. Now he's back in the NCR.
Hmm.
And this is building up, of course, as I brought up NCR Strong Return episode 8. They're coming.
They actually might. I'm not gonna lie. There's a chance that, but that like literally in like the last like couple minutes of the episode, we're like, well, looks like we're here. sorry, we're late.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So also after we get our farming moment, Thaddeus's arm falls off.
Yeah,
completely rots off, and he's like and he's not. It doesn't even look like it hurts.
Yeah, it just kind of falls. He's just like kind of
falls off. And he's like, I'm having a medical episode. Is what he says.
Yeah.
And I didn't mention it before, but when he pulls back his shirt, there's like a mouth,
yeah,
growing on his chest.
Like,
so
this is normal, right?
Yeah, and every time he brings it up to Coop, Coop just looks at him. He just stares at him. He doesn't say a word. He just kind of just looks back at him to say, "Nah, bro, we are not the same."
I don't know what you are, but it's not me. It ain't no ghoul. I mean, it might be still, but like I'm thinking it's like super ghoul.
No. This is not a ghoul. This is not even a little bit of a ghoul, bro.
You think it's a variant? No?
No, this is not a ghoul. He is a mutant, for sure. Now, what kind of mutant he is, I don't know. He may be becoming his own unique mutant, but he is definitely a mutant. And I'm going to show you what he might be turning into. Okay? I'm gonna share with you an image, really quickly. And so I would say check your Discord, because I need to see your immediate reaction to this. It's not ideal.
You think you sent into this?
Yeah, so I sent you a picture of a centaur from the Fallout series, because they have no arms, and they do have a mouth, a big mouth on their chest. Now,
that's why.
There's one obstacle to this.
That's grotesque.
The one obstacle to him becoming a centaur is the fact that centaurs are made up of a couple of different things. Like they're made up of like a mishmash of like multiple humans kind of thrown into a vat of like FEV and transformed. And he's just one guy. So that is like point one against him becoming a centaur. He might be becoming his own unique thing, because they are unique, mutants for sure. Well, there's examples like Harold, who became like a tree man, and there's all kinds of different unique mutant variants. So I think he's either becoming something unique or he's becoming a centaur. Either way, it's not good.
No, it isn't.
It's not good for Thaddeus.
Thaddeus going through right now and doesn't even realize.
I hope, for his sake, it's not a centaur, it's something else. But I also kind of
crazy.
I kind of hope I don't think whatever he does become, I hope he just retains his personality.
Yeah, same. Otherwise, I don't know. Yeah, because what when they, if he, like, let's say hypothetically he did become like a centaur or a centaur like mutant, do they lose their minds?
They are usually like kind of like stupid, like attack dogs. Now that doesn't. Now hypothetically, he could be a smart one. I don't know what that would do for him, but he could be a smart one, right? Hypothetically.
But yeah, no, I would like to see Thaddeus still be this. I hope he doesn't turn into anything too crazy like this, because this is kind of wild. And Thaddeus feels like he's a character that should still stay around for at least a couple episodes. If he turns to a centaur,
for sure.
If he turns into this, that's definitely a one and done.
He's kind of cooked. But I think Thaddeus is going to become like the Rickety Cricket from Rickety Cricket from Always Sunny.
Oh yeah.
I think Thaddeus is going to be the rickety cricket of Fallout. Every time we check in with him, he's a new
It just
kind
gets
of
worse.
messed up. It
Yeah.
just gets worse. He's the same guy, but it's always some sort of new mutation.
Mhm.
I hope for his sake things work out, because I like Thaddeus.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, who's gonna take care of all those kids at the bottle cap factory?
Yeah, you gonna look after them. They need their now zombified, uh, zombie mutant, uh, I guess, sort of fodder figure.
Yeah. So they enter the strip, and the Death Claw situation is bad. It's so bad that Death Claws are starting to cannibalize each other. And the ghoul is like, "Hey, just protect me. Protect me. Let me get to Lucky 38 so I can do my thing." And Maximus and the Deathclaw, they go into it. There's some pretty good fights. Like, I think this entire battle is pretty sick, because like like I said, the armor has arm blades, and he is like going in it like pretty cool. Like he's slicing them up. He's like grabbing them, slicing
Mhm.
off their arms.
Yeah.
Stabbing them. That it's a pretty sick battle. Not an easy one, because they are still super dangerous, but he's
Yeah.
going at it. I think the ghoul damages one of them with his I think he's a Gauss rifle, which is like, I think it's like an electric
plasma.
kind of thing that shoots out. It's almost like a mini
Railgun.
railgun, yes. Um, and it's so cool because you see the Deathclaw getting hit by the shots, and he
Mhm.
has holes in it, but it's still coming at him like in a really cool way. Like it, I think it really this episode really made you feel how dangerous the Deathclaws are in the game. Because
Yeah.
even with all the power armor and all the upgrades, they are kind of just at that level. It's not like an easy thing. I'm not just going in there and wiping them out. They are kind of like just meeting the challenge, which
Yeah.
is pretty accurate.
They definitely did like everything they could just to take out one Death Claw.
I think they only got 2.
Did I get 2?
They got 2. Yeah.
But yeah, nah, Maximus was throwing hands with it, and then his friends came up. He's like, "Do you want do you want to face more of these?" And then just gets knocked through the gate, releasing them,
Yeah.
presumably now, releasing them to the public.
Yeah.
Next round, so that's not great.
Well, I think this may be like I think we're gonna get like the town teams up sequence.
I
Right?
don't know. I think it's gonna be complete mayhem when we get back to it.
They're all gonna chip in. It's gonna be a real
What?
community moment.
What armor?
Okay, so
What
what's gonna
weapon?
happen is the Deathclaw is gonna break through, right? Deathclaw's gonna come through, and it's gonna knock like a Maximus over, and it's gonna about to kill Maximus with his claw, right? And then someone's gonna throw a brick at it, and who's gonna throw balls at it, and Deathclaw's like, huh? And the free side residents gonna be like, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. And that's gonna give Maximus enough time to get up and take the Deathclaw out.
Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, what about the other 30 that's in that?
Yeah, the other Deathclaws. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think when it comes back, it's gonna be open season. That and the only survivor is gonna be like that one kid in Thaddeus.
Just total free side extinction.
Yeah.
So the ghoul makes it up to the Lucky 38 penthouse, where he gets to Mr. House and the terminal, and it's disconnected and all that stuff. And he goes to put the cold fusion in. And I'll say one important thing about this interaction is there is a Securitron, like that's kind of like dead,
Mhm.
right next to Mr. House's terminal. And this shows one very important thing, big thing lore-wise. And that means that the canonical, I guess, path or ending to New Vegas for this TV show
Mhm.
is the Yes Man ending. And Yes Man is a Securitron AI program that is programmed to kind of just agree with and go along with whatever you're like saying, right?
Mhm.
But it allows you to have like an independent New Vegas because the pathway is you basically either subdue or kill Mr. House, right? Like his body that's in the
Mhm.
pod. And then Yes Man is installed. And basically you go out and make sure the different factions can't like harm you or harm New Vegas.
Mhm.
And then you like upgrade all the Securitrons and, fight out of the Hoover Dam. Right, you might have like one side might have a little more of an advantage, but neither the Legion or NCR completely take over the Hoover Dam,
Mhm.
and New Vegas and Mojave becomes like in an independent territory, not ruled by anybody. And hypothetically, if the Courier did the Yes Man ending and then just left, right, that could explain why things after 15 years are as bad as they are now. Because in the Yes Man like a storyline, like I just played through this. What happens is when you take out Mr. House, Yes Man goes up to the penthouse and he uploads himself into the mainframe. Now it's empty, right? And as soon as he finishes uploading, the Securitron like falls over. Or during the upload, basically, the Securitron bot that he's in falls over dead.
Mhm.
And Yes Man's now in the main terminal. And the fact that
Mm.
Securitron is there means that's what happened. Now, the main question is, well, who is this Mr. House, right? Is this Yes Man pretending to be Mr. House? Or is this, according to my theory, is this the true Mr. House and Venom House died and we have Big Boss House, right, who made himself an AI? And what I believe it is I think like real Mr. House turned himself into an AI.
Mhm.
And as a like final backup. So even if he lost, right? If he ever got cold fusion, he would win.
Mhm.
Right. And I think that's why he comes in line as soon as Cooper puts in the cold fusion.
Mm.
And we get this really great sequence, right, in between the Lucky 38 and the flashback and with Lucy, where they play a song, and I'm gonna get it right. It is by Raphael. It's called uh Ballada della Trompeta, and this song is so good. The music choices are always good, but this song, it's got a Spanish song that plays, is so good and builds up the tension so well. When you get like that, da
I
da
got
da da
yeah,
da
yeah,
da
yeah,
da da,
that one.
you know, as Coop gives away the cold fusion to the president. And if you know Fallout lore, this is the worst thing he's ever done. Okay,
I can
because
feel it.
do you know who runs the enclave? The
Is the
president.
president?
Yes. The enclave is a shadow government, and the president is in the enclave. Before the war, the president and his
Yeah,
top guys move secretly to a different part of the country, outside of the country, like on an oil rig that's protected. And
damn.
they completely stay away from all the bombs.
So Coop fumbled?
Okay? Um,
My
Cuckoo
goat
fumbled
fumbled?
hard, man.
Oh, not my goat.
Now, I'm curious if the congresswoman is in on it, or is
Mhm.
she just like a patsy? I don't know which
Mm.
way, especially after the end. But so as Coop installs the cold fusion, brings House back online. House is like, oh, good to see you, old chump. Always comes back to me, right?
Mhm.
And Lucy goes into the mainframe and
Mhm.
opens that up and sees a head, and the head is a Congresswoman Welch, right? And she's kind of like connected to all the stuff in the mainframe, and she's the one who's controlling. She's kind of like the brain that's controlling all the stuff behind the brain chips, which does make me wonder.
Mm.
Makes me wonder: is she a patsy, or is she a true enclave believer? Right? Is she a true enclave believer, and they gave her this really garbage, power the mainframe job, or is she a patsy and they got her and they gave her this role? I don't know.
See, like, I couldn't make out the head. I couldn't make out the head. I was like thinking, like, is that House? No, I don't think that's House. That doesn't look like him. But
Yeah, but yeah,
yeah,
that's Welch.
yeah, it's the Congresswoman.
So Coop. I guess Coop should have just let Mr. House get cold fusion the whole time. Now, would that have helped Coop? No, not really.
Yeah,
I think things are cooked either way. But
yeah.
I guess if House had cold fusion, he would have been able to better protect Las Vegas and Nevada from the bombs,
Mhm,
because he protected a lot of it. He was able to use his missile defense system to stop like a lot of the bombs from hitting Las
mhm.
Vegas. He could have probably protected that better, but if that had happened and he had cold fusion, we'd have just gotten the 200-year House Reich, as Mr. House has complete control over everything, and nobody can stop him. That's what would have happened if Mr. House had cold fusion. He would have become an authoritarian dictator of the Las Vegas area. For better or
Mhm.
worse, depends. Your mileage may vary.
Wow.
But yeah, so all this goes down. Coop, in his own way, sells the world. He doesn't think he is, but he does. Um, and just as Mr. House said, he causes the world to end in his own way. Because by giving the government cold fusion and giving the enclave cold fusion, nothing
It's a wrap.
good
Yeah,
will happen because of this.
it's a wrap on the day.
So that's where the episode ends. I think it ends very well. But there is a credits. If you watch the credits afterwards, you see a little bit more of Canada in the that kind of like 3D kind of like a credit sequence,
Yeah.
where you see it opens on a big sign that says "Welcome to Canada,"
Mhm.
but the sign has been graffitied over to say "Welcome to
Little
Little
America.
America,"
Yeah.
or like the Big 51, and you see Mounties hanging from the sign. It's wild, man. Mounties are hanging from the sign. It's bad. Okay, things have not been good uh, in Canada, and there's a battle. There's dead power armored soldiers and a tank. So I think it's unclear if this is like this fight happened post-war or pre-war, right? Because this could have been like, I could see this being like maybe like an insurrection, right? That
Mhm,
happened right before the bombs dropped and everyone died.
mhm,
Or maybe this could be like a remnant of after the bombs drop and Canadians were trying to like escape, right? And they were able to kill these soldiers. Like, who knows? But you know, it's not ideal. It is not ideal for Canadians. I
yeah.
am curious if we have Canadian listeners. How this episode make you feel? Positive, negative? Were you thrilled when they said that you're given the God given right to kill Americans, or were you distressed about a possible future? I don't know. I don't know how you'd feel. I am curious.
While we're on it, how do Canadians feel about Fallout World in general? uh, Naked Kid, the 51st state.
You know, I think at the very least it doesn't come up that often in lore, right? It does not
Mhm.
come up that often in game, so you can ignore it. But I am curious. I think previously in previous years it was a real like ha 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 that like that would ever happen. I don't know how you feel right now.
And now,
I'll say this to any Canadians listening. Okay, this is a message from America. we are in distress. We need your help, okay? We need brave Canadians to liberate us in the United States of America.
Please.
Please.
It's gotten that dire.
It's gotten so bad. You don't even know how bad it is. We don't even have healthcare over here. Somebody.
Anyone. I'll even take Justin Bieber. You know what?
So,
you know what? Drake did win the battle.
I'll say this. I'll take everybody. I will not take Ryan Reynolds.
Right?
You can keep him.
Ryan Reynolds is Canadian? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he is Canadian. Explains a lot, doesn't it?
It does.
We love her. Our northern listeners, you know, we're closer than you think.
Yeah. Honestly,
so
my favorite Canada state is Alaska. You know.
Yeah. It is crazy that we have Alaska, isn't it?
Yeah, we saw that at the last second. At least, like, we'll give you everything else except Alaska.
So I would say overall, good episode. I really liked it. I am very excited for the finale and everything leading into it. There was a lot of threads to pull. And I think most of them will be answered. You know, I think there's a couple things they'll save, of course, for season 3, but I think a lot of them are going to be wrapped up by this finale. So I'm excited to see how it all breaks down.
Yeah, I can't wait for the finale. I thought this has been a pretty good season of Fallout. When the finale comes, I'll try to compare to see which one I like more, either season 1 or season 2. I think maybe season 1. I don't know. I think I might still have a bit of I might like season 1 a bit better just right now. Just
really?
Yeah, it felt like I don't know. Once everything's said and done for this season, I'll compare it. But like, I just think season 1 had a bit of a more
focus.
Yeah. But this season was pretty sweet to see. And hopefully, you know, the not hopefully, because but like, hopefully the execution of a lot of these plot lines that we currently have, have a solid ending to them.
Yeah, for sure. So that is our show. If you enjoyed the show, please, give us a like, subscribe. I will admit we may not be talking about Fallout for much longer, but we'll always have the memories. And we will be talking about tons of TV shows from the future. I think just this week we're going to be talking about Wonder Man.
Oh yeah.
Pretty soon we'll be going over Daredevil and the One Piece live action and Invincible. So if you're into any of those, stick around.
Yeah,
we have a good time on Peak of Fiction. You can get used to all of our other co-hosts and eccentric characters.
And all our alter egos and whatnot.
yeah. All that good jazz. And for the first time ever, I will plug. If you like TikTok, folks, if you enjoy TikTok, Supa O has some pretty fun, some pretty funny stuff happening.
Oh wow, I didn't think you were gonna plug me, but thank you. Yeah, no. But yeah, as my fellow Peak co-host has said, we're very grateful that you all, come around and listen to us every week. It's really been the highlight of doing this podcast. You know what I mean? And personally, it fills me with so much joy that it makes me feel like falling out of my seat. Yep,
it does, right? It does. All right, that's it. Goodbye.
All right, see y'all.
Got it. No, there's no change in the plan. Bye.